We're here to talk about 3 types of manufacturing costs. Welcome to Accounting How To. I'm your host, Carolyn Grimm, and that is Terrence, the very cool T-Rex, my sidekick. And we're here to put the fun in accounting fundamentals. So when we're talking about manufacturing costs, what we're looking at is a manufacturing business, a business that is in the business of taking raw materials and turning them into a finished product that's now available for sale. So along the way, we're bringing in raw materials, and then we've got to transform those raw materials into our finished product. And that transformation incurs costs. So we're not just selling raw materials. We have to take them and transform them. So what we do to do that is we're going to apply some labor to that. And we're going to call this direct labor because this is the direct labor, the people actually manufacturing the product. They're taking the raw materials for our guitars, they're cutting out the backs and the fronts, they're doing those things that are involved in actually making the product. We're not talking about indirect labor, people working in the office doing the invoicing, or the people who are cleaning the offices. We're talking about direct labor, the people that are involved in turning the raw materials into the finished goods. They're the hands-on people. So now we've got our direct materials, those exact pieces of wood that are going into producing this guitar. We've got the direct labor, the people that are actually building that guitar as it goes through the factory. And then we've got one other piece. We're going to add in some manufacturing or factory overhead. So what's overhead all about? Well, if you're going to create a product, you need a place to create your product. So you're going to have some sort of a factory building. You're going to need to have electricity to run the lights, to run the saws. You're going to need to have supervisors who are overseeing the people who are manufacturing the products. You're going to need people who maintain the equipment. The supervisors, the cleaning people, the maintenance people, they're not directly involved with manufacturing the guitars. You can't do it without them though. So they're part of the overall costs of having that factory and making the things that we make. So we call that overhead, manufacturing overhead or factory overhead. And each guitar that we make has to cover part of that cost. So when we sell a guitar for $100, a portion of that $100 needs to cover the overhead costs. So when we're looking at that finished guitar ready to go out to be sold in a store somewhere, the costs that we've captured there are for the raw materials, the labor of the people who made the guitar, the people who support the person in the process of making that guitar, as well as things like electricity to keep that factory running. So when we talk about manufacturing costs, one of the really important things is that we get that number accurate. Because if we don't have an accurate number for our real costs, all of those costs combined, it makes it very difficult to set the price that we're selling that item in a way that allows us to get the highest amount of profit. And so those are the manufacturing costs that we talk about in determining how we're going to price our products. Until next time, stay balanced, my friends.